Good morning. Barring an emergency between now and the 31st of December, today is the last formal working day of the Security Council, and I wanted to take this opportunity to share a few experiences that we've had as elected members for the year 2021 and 2022. Kenya is grateful to have had the privilege to serve in the Security Council. As a delegation, every file and every minute we spent on those files, no matter the frustrations and shortcomings, has been a worthwhile journey. The pressures, the triumphs, the insights and lessons in diplomacy, and the newfound friends that we found enriched us. We thank the countries that voted for our membership and assure them that we have tried to match our conduct and delivery to our promises during the campaign in 2020. We hope that we have met with the expectations we created. And we recognize in appreciation the critical contribution to peace and security by the Secretary General and his hardworking team. Our time on the Council has strengthened our conviction that his good offices and his personal commitment to utilizing them ambitiously is key to many of the achievements the UN has recorded this past year. We are profoundly grateful to our fellow Council members for their cooperation with our delegation and our positions on agenda items. We exit the Council with a keen appreciation of how hard its members work to fulfill their responsibilities. We're very thankful to the Department of Political and Peacebuilding Affairs, the Security Council Affairs Division, the Department of Peace Operations, the Special Representatives of the Secretary General, the special envoys and panels of experts for their role in enabling us to undertake our duty on the Council. I want to spend a bit of time on armed conflicts in Africa because compared to other regions, they are disproportionately represented in the work of the Security Council. Our experience these past 2 years has demonstrated that regional leadership and ownership with the support of the international community is what delivers peace most effectively. African solutions for African challenges are a reality. As an example, in one of the most recent destructive conflicts, regional leaders and the African Union, working with the Secretary General and partners, delivered a ceasefire in Pretoria and are making progress towards a post-conflict dispensation. Kenya is proud to have made contributions that enabled the Council to improve the mandates of UN peacekeeping in South Sudan, Abyei, the DRC, the Central African Republic, and Mali. We were also gratified by the Council giving its support to the African Union mission in Somalia to transition and to extend its mission in line with conditions on the ground. We also made strong contributions in the Council to realign the mandates of special political missions in Sudan, Somalia, and Libya to try and get those missions to respond to ground realities. Kenya pursued the review of some sanctions, and we're glad that the Council reached a similar conclusion for African countries in different stages of the conflict-peace continuum. This led to the Central Africa Republic arms embargo retaining only a notification requirement. For the Democratic Republic of Congo, the notification requirement was removed, leaving the country free to pursue its sovereign right in establishing and sustaining its defense. We're especially gratified by the Council listening to Kenya and the African Three as Kenya, as part of the East African community, pursues alongside the DRC the stabilization effort using the two-track Nairobi process. We're also glad that the Council agreed with Kenya's position to clarify and simplify benchmarks for the Somalia and South Sudan arms embargoes. However, a lot more remains to be done to relieve African countries of the burden of unreasonable sanctions. We believe today, as we did when we joined the Council, that benchmarks need to be achievable, tied to national capacity building, and regularly reviewed with a willingness to drop them sooner rather than later. Kenya did not limit itself to being active on files in Africa. To be African is to have a global responsibility. We took seriously every item with which the Council was seized. We responded to the African Union's Constitutive Act and our own national constitutional dispensation in taking clear positions on coups, no matter where they occur. We stood on principle against serious breaches of the UN Charter, particularly the breach of sovereignty and territorial integrity. We stood up for people of African descent outside the continent, reflecting the African Union's position on the African diaspora, our sense of fair play, and our conviction that their inclusion is key to real, lasting peace. We did so in Colombia and in Haiti. Our 2 years in this chamber have taught us the critical competencies that develop with permanent membership. For this reason, Africa needs permanent seats to successfully navigate its own insecurity and the emerging multipolar competition and rivalry. In the meantime, we leave much in the hands of the African Three, to which we welcome the delegation of Mozambique, knowing it will build on our own efforts. We also wish the incoming members of Ecuador, Japan, Malta, of course Mozambique, and Switzerland the greatest success in 2023 and 2024. To you in the media pool, we thank you for the fair coverage that you've given our delegation and look forward to continuing to engage one another in the different forums here in the United Nations. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Ambassador. You were very diplomatic in talking about the achievements in the Security Council. What are your major disappointments over the 2 years? I mean, obviously, a lot has happened, but the war in Ukraine, how has that led to any sense of disappointments in terms of your membership in the Council?
Well, let me begin by saying, of course, being in the Security Council for 2 years comes with its share of disappointments and frustrations. One of those is a situation in Haiti. Earlier in the year, the Council was very united on how it should act together on behalf of Haiti. For the meeting we had yesterday, we detected a great deal of difference that has developed, to the extent that now the positions in the Council are sharply divided. And for that reason, any movement forward on behalf of the people of Haiti will be harder to achieve than should be the case. And I personally believe that that difference that has emerged does not have to do only with a difference in diagnosis on the crisis in Haiti, but has extra geopolitical factors. Of course, we remain disappointed that there's a war going on in Ukraine, that despite our repeated calls for diplomatic mediation and the resolution of this destruction of the European security order, we've not been able to succeed. The Security Council was paralyzed on the file, clearly one, because of the veto by one of the permanent members, but also because really the crisis itself requires not just Security Council action, but visionary statesmanship by major powers, especially in Europe. So we'll continue looking forward for some resolution, but that was a very clear frustration that we had. Overall, though, our experience has not been characterized by frustration or disappointment, but rather by an appreciation of just how much we could get achieved in the 2 years we're in the Council.
What was the most surprising turn of events in the 2 years you've been on the Council?
Well, I have to say it was in February when there were constant warnings that an armed action against Ukraine was imminent. We did not think so, and so on February the 21st, as that armed action became imminent, it struck us with great surprise and disappointment, and I think that stands out during our time in the Council as perhaps the most eye-openingly surprising of all of them. Thank you very much.